So we have we have three incredible speakers this morning that's going to talk about social media, and then some guy who's also going to do a presentation. And yeah, I don't want to take much of your time, so we're going to get started. First up, please welcome Rithika. She is the Director of India at GenV, and please give it up for her.
Thanks, Ryuji. Hi, everyone. I guess a lot of people are still eating their breakfast or waking up from the party last night that they had. Well, my name is Rithika. I'm the Director of India at Generation Vegan, and I would like to tell you all a little bit about GenV before I go on. We are a nonprofit that is dedicated to educating people about a plant-based lifestyle. Our goals are to educate and support people, and we also do that through our 7-day and 30-day vegan challenges on our website, available in 6 different languages. We also take part in events and like these, and a lot of what we do has to do with our high-profile campaigns. Some of you may have heard about our $1 million vegan challenges. We have challenged the Pope, Donald Trump, Rishi Sunak to all go vegan for a $1 million donation to a charity of their choice. A lot of what we do is digital marketing, and we make some really impactful films and also do some outreach. Before I go on, I want to talk a little bit about the grasp of social media. All of us are on many different platforms, and it's expected that 5.85 billion people will be on social media by 2027. Just to give you an idea that we have the potential to reach these many people with our messaging. I am on at least 2 or 3 platforms in a day, but the average user is active on 6 or 7 platforms in a month. In Asia particularly, which has the largest number of social media users, China with over 1 billion users on social media, followed by India and Indonesia. But just for a second, I'd like all of you to imagine a life without social media. As vegan advocates, how would we spread our messaging? We would have to use post-its or notice boards. Our impact would be limited to the number of people we could reach if we spoke to them. And the only virus or the viral thing we would, sorry, that joke didn't come out well. The only viral thing we would talk about would be related to viruses. So social media is here to stay, and eventually it's all about engagement. But the engagement we need is to be able to attract our audiences, but also receive something in return. And that means we need them to talk back to us, not only like and share, but also comment, but also respond, but also tell us how they are feeling. Fast. Just to give you an idea of the potential we have for engagement, on the left, you can see the audience share that GenV has. India makes a mere 4% of the audience. But on the right, when we looked at our engagement, almost 1/3 of our engagement was coming from India. This is the potential that Asia has as a continent which has the largest number of social media users. I have 5 ways that we could get engagement. And these are just some strategies that I think that all of us can use. We don't have to necessarily use all of them, just a few of them. One is to engage with clear calls to action, to get our audiences to do something that we would like them to do for us. We could gamify the participation by creating challenges or even campaigns. And my favorite thing is to use the power of impactful stories. I think that when we give them something to resonate with, they're more likely to share them. We shouldn't forget that a large number of our supporters are actually vegans from the movement, and it's important to build this community because we all grow together, we learn from each other, and we support each other, just like we all are here at this conference to learn and grow from each other. Another thing we can do is to highlight the impact, and that is to give people constant updates on what we have achieved with their help. But nothing is set in stone. We need to be able to try everything. The vegan advocacy space has enough room for all kinds of advocacy, and therefore it's important that we try everything. I will give you an idea of a few things that have worked for us, and you will see how varied it is. We had shared a video of chicks getting vaccinated, and organically it reached 16.2 million people. This is more than the population of some of the biggest cities in the world. Some other examples of impactful and effective content are giving them short, punchy lines with some great images. You can educate them. You can give them information that makes them think. And then, of course, there's stories. Stories that people can connect with and people can find themselves in. These are really effective for getting them to make a change. I'd like to share two case studies of two campaigns that we did. One is the buffaloes of Brotas. 1,000 buffaloes were abandoned in a piece of land in Brazil, and these buffaloes, a dairy farmer actually decided that he didn't want to farm them anymore, and he decided that he was just going to leave them there without any water or resources. When animal activists got to know about this, they decided to help rehabilitate and rescue these buffaloes. But it's impossible to even imagine what 1,000 buffaloes looks like. The people were there, people were ready to work together, but they needed the funds. We pledged $10,000 to help the buffaloes, but we wanted to give our audience the sense that they helped us do it also. Our goal was to get 10,000 people to sign up for our free vegan challenges, and we pledged $1 for every sign up. We got the support of high-profile celebrities and activists, but we also accompanied this with a digital media campaign that informed and educated the audience, but also made them connect with the story of the buffaloes. All we asked our supporters to do was sign up and spread the word. These are just some of the amazing supporters from Brazil. Some of them are vegan activists themselves with large number of following, and some of them even from the Spanish-speaking regions of South America. And then there was the vegan community that helped us. The comments were extremely positive. Everybody resonated with the idea, and everyone helped us eventually get to the goal. We were able to donate the money, but we were also able to give our audience that they were able to help us achieve this. The second case study is the Earthshot Prize. The Earthshot Prize is a high-profile environmental award that gives a £1 million prize to 5 different organizations that help solve pressing environmental issues. But they ignored a huge aspect of what is causing an environmental issue, and that is animal agriculture. So we asked them to include a vegan category as a 6th category in their awards, and we did this by writing an open letter to Prince William, whose foundation is one of the founders of the Earthshot Awards. We got the support again of many high-profile individuals, but we also asked help from our supporters to share this idea, and all they had to do was tweet and tag them to get them to listen. That is our open letter on the left. We got Genesis Butler, who is a vegan activist from the United States. We showed up at the Earthshot Awards in New York City with a huge check and also a life-size cutout of Prince William. I think they got scared of us because they listened. They didn't include a vegan category. Sorry, this is not working. But they allowed us to nominate plant-based solutions from all over the world, and we were also able to appoint 2 experts to their advisory panel. It's not working. Thank you. Which reminds me that the Earthshot nominations are open since October, so please head to our website and nominate solutions that you think could work from your regions. We really need more solutions from the global south. They could be plant-based groups, they could be companies, they could be campaigns that could be considered for the $1 million pound prize. A few key takeaways from this presentation is, one is to find your voice, find a voice that works for you and for your audience. Collaborate with other people, with other organizations. Find ways to engage with your audiences and give them something that they can do for you and for the cause. Always be data-driven and monitor your analytics and educate your audience and give them the confidence that they can make a change. I'd like to end with this cute picture of calves. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have Nanda. She is the Program Manager for Farmed Animal Advocacy at Animal Friends Jogja, based in Jogja, Indonesia. Please give it up for her.
Okay, thank you, Ryuji, and thank you, Asia Farm Animals Day 2024 for having me today. Sorry, the notes. Okay, if I'm shaking, please do not panic, do not call medic because I'm nervous. Okay, so today, I'm very excited to share about online advocacy, specifically focusing on our campaign for laying hands and how we use digital platform to support our campaign. And before we dive into the details, let me introduce myself again. I'm Nanda, the Program Manager for the Farm Animal Welfare Advocacy Programs at Animal Friends Jogja, Indonesia. And for the past 2 years, I've been leading our Catch Free Indonesia campaign, which focuses on impactful advocacy for farm animals. And I'm truly grateful to work with such a talented team, with each member excelling in their own areas of expertise. And I will introduce AFJ also. Animal Friends Jogja, or AFJ, is a non-profit organization founded in 2010, and we are dedicated to advocating for animal welfare and protection in Indonesia through the advocacy, education, adoption, sterilization, and various campaigns, programs. And we also collaborate with other organizations, forming important coalitions. AFJ is also a member of OIPA, the International Organization for Animal Protection, which is associated with the United Nations Department of Public Information. Additionally, we are part of the Dog Meat Free Indonesia Coalition, Act for Farm Animals with Synergy Animals, the Farm Animals and Policy Coalition at Asia for Animals, and member of the Open Wing Alliance. So this is our campaign. Over the years, AFJ has conducted 5 significant campaigns like Stop Traveling Dolphin Circus, Dog Meat Free Indonesia, Care for Carriage Working Horses, Ban Mass Dancing Monkey, and Catch Free Indonesia. And each of these Each of this campaign has played a vital role in advocating for animal welfare in Indonesia, and I'd like to highlight one notable success campaigns, the Stop Traveling Dolphin Circus campaign. And after years of effort in 2020, IFJ teamed up with other animal protection organizations, and together we achieved a remarkable milestone. Our work led to the closure of the last traveling dolphin circus in Indonesia, and this victory not only saved countless dolphins from exploitation, but also raised public awareness about the ethical issues surrounding animals entertainment. So, I'd like to share more about our campaign or our program we called Catch Free Indonesia. This movement focuses on raising awareness about the welfare of laying hens in Indonesia. So, before we start, when it comes to implementing our program and developing strategies for the success of the Catch Free Indonesia campaign, we believe compassion is our foundation. Why? First, because compassion drives our advocacy and empowering us to speak up for those who can't. It fosters empathy, allowing us to truly understand the challenges faced by farm animals. Moreover, compassion encourages innovation and sustains our commitment to this cause. Without it, our strategy risks becoming detached and ineffective. And ultimately, compassion ensures that our work is both impactful and human. And our compassion-driven foundation empowers us to develop strategies and adopt holistic approaches in our program and campaigns to achieve the goals of Catch Free Indonesia. Animal Friends Jogja has expanded the Catch Free movement in Indonesia through a comprehensive strategy that combines outreach to corporation, producer, government, public, and alongside advocacy for improved welfare standard and transition to Catch Free system with the government. One thing that is also important, we are collaborating closely with other organizations. By doing this, we strengthen our efforts to end the use of cages, ensuring a greater impact not just in Indonesia, but across the entire region. So, we need to share our holistic approach with the public, right? And one fundamental way to achieve this is by showcasing all of our advocacy activities through a digital platform, specifically a website. Why a website? Yeah, as we know, websites play a crucial role in advocacy by serving as central hubs for information, networking, and awareness building and action. So this is our program website, catchfreeindonesia.org. Our website serves as the legitimacy of our efforts. We also have our organizational site at animalfriendsjogja.org, but for this movement, this campaign or this program, we have created a separate platform in catchfreeindonesia.org. And this website provides tangible proof of our initiative, showcasing our achievement, partnership, and the real impact we are making. By presenting our work publicly, it reinforces our credibility and demonstrates that our programs are not just concepts, but they are actively being executed and driving meaningful change in the community. So we have goals and impact from the website. Our website is designed to improve accountability for companies, also promote the Catch Free Indonesia movement, and connect producer with businesses. We also aim to inform the government about the growing interest in catch free practices and provide educational resources to help the public understand the benefit of catch free farming. So what you can find on our website, you can find valuable information about layer hen welfare, including what catch-free eggs are and their benefits for animal welfare, and there's a list of companies to transitioning to catch-free practices, as well as details about producer and supplier in Indonesia. We provide catch-free eggs, and also you can also stay updated with the latest news and articles on our website. And sorry. And finally, you can also join our newsletter to receive updates and support our campaign, or also join the our volunteer programs. And this is our website overview, and please don't ask me about the details about technique or statistic, because I'm not expert in that. Instead, I just want to provide an overview of our website performance. We haven't used ads to boost visibility. This growth is entirely organic. As you can see, we have 242 organic visitors per month, and this isn't about the number. While the number may seem small, it's important to highlight that our audience is highly targeted and closely aligned with our cause. Yeah, as I mentioned before, our audience is well targeted and aligned with our cause, which has led to several significant achievements of our website. And we've seen strong engagement with producer, successful outreach to businesses, growing public demand for catch-free egg suppliers, and increased visibility through media coverage. And for producer, two battery cage producers reach out to us because they want to adopt higher welfare standards, and one of them even asked for certification support to help with their transition. And this producer is a supplier to Westin Hotel, part of Marriott. So this shows that the global shift towards human practices is encouraging local producers to move away from conventional cages, and they are looking to us in guidance. And in terms of business engagement, our website has become a valuable resource for companies wanting to implement catch-free practices. For example, like Aman Jiwo, part of the global Aman Group, contact us to connect with local catch-free suppliers and showing their commitment to ethical sourcing. And similarly, Hokkaido Baby Bag Shop found us through our platform and has now switched to using catch-free eggs, highlighting the real impact of our efforts. And for public demand for catch-free eggs is also on the rise. Our platform has become a go-to source for people looking for catch-free egg supplier in their areas, reflecting a growing interest in ethically sourced products and more compassionate food choices. And also, finally, the media has started reaching us for interview, which helping amplify the catch-free movement and increase our visibility in this movement across Indonesia. And coverage from outlets like See Today, an Indonesian news television channel that broadcasts news from Indonesia and around the world, has showcased our efforts and reached diverse audience and raising awareness about farm animal welfare. And how we are optimizing our website to strengthen our advocacy. First, we have our current strength. Our website clearly communicates our focus mission, offers valuable educational resources, and builds credibility through success stories from businesses. And it also opens up opportunities to engagement and highlight our partnership. But we realize that our website is far from perfect and needs further improvement. So we've taken to comparing with other organizations like Compassion in World Farming and Mercy for Animals, which have strong digital advocacy platform. And so after some research, the improvement we will implement, including creating an interactive supplier maps using geolocation, and this will make it easy for companies and individuals to local catch-free egg supplier. And next, we will improve the website visual design and expand our success story by adding more detailed testimonial and case studies to inspire other businesses. And also, we will incorporate interactive elements like videos, infographics, and quizzes. And our goal is to ensure our website remains a powerful tool to drive the catch-free movement forward. Even though our website is still quite simple and has a lot of room for improvement, but we're proud of the positive impact we achieved so far. Our website has successfully connected business, consumer, and producer, which has led to more commitments to catch-free practices. And by continuous learning from other successful advocacy sites, we aim to strengthen catchfreeindonesia.org as a powerful tool for change and to support the welfare of farm animals. And to wrap up my presentation today, let's remember that real change happens when compassion meets action. So if you believe that website is an important tool, just go for it. Don't overthinking with the design or get stuck in the little details. Focus on the message you want to share and learn from other websites that inspire you and adopt the good elements. So I hope what AFJ have done can inspire all of you, and also I hope this presentation was informative and helpful for everyone in here. If you have any question or want to discuss further, please feel free to reach out to me via email or WhatsApp. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nanda. So I think that last point where compassion meets action is really important, but I realized that the place where compassion meets action is actually compaction. So you can just remember it like that if that's helpful. For our next speaker, we have Dave, who I would introduce him, but I think he needs no introduction. So everyone, please welcome Chef Dave.
Hi, vanakkam, salam sejahtera, tatia hao. That's how I start each of my social media video. So let me introduce myself. Today's sharing will be a lot more how social media actually made me a vegan and how social media have inspired me to speak for animal, to share my journey. And through my sharing, I will share the tactics that we have used to grow from 0 to 3 million followers on our social media within 4 years' time. So if you are running any organizations, or you are a vegan activist, or you are doing any initiative that you want to use social media as a tool for your advocacy, I believe you can learn 1 or 2 things from my presentation today. Thank you. So, social media tactics for vegan advocacy growth. But before that, let me introduce myself. Of course, everyone know me as a ChefDave, but I'm from Malaysia. So Malaysia is a multi-racial country where we grow up with different race, religion, culture, and people. So since young, I went to Chinese school. So I'm the only Indian in Chinese school, so I experienced first-hand racism at the age of 5. So I know how it feels to be discriminated and treated differently. And if you realize my secondary school, I'm the only Indian as well in my school. I grow up among the Muslims and Chinese. So again, I even face discrimination from my school teachers, friends around, from the management, and of course, grow up in a country where I'm the minority. A lot of countries' policies might not cite people who are minority in terms of education, in terms of different policies in the country that not favoring the minorities in the country. I know how it feels. So you can see I'm always in the protests and all sort of things before actually I became a vegan. And growing up as a teenager who confused and also blur, I don't know who am I, because I was struggling with my sexual orientation and I don't know who to talk to, coming from a country where they're so conservative. And yeah, I was really struggle. And I know people around treating people from LGBTQI community as some sort of disease or disabled or, some sort of mental disorder and stuff like that, make me someone who want to stand out and speak for those people who are struggling with the same issues. So I have became voiceless at the very young age, that not able to communicate about myself to my family, people around me, to my neighbors. So that made me easily able to connect with animal and the message of veganism. So a bit of my background, I studied for culinary because I love cooking, I love food since young. And I further my studies in Leopold John Moss in tourism, leisure, and hospitality management because I love to travel, I love to understand different cultures, see the world around. And also I graduated from University of Wales in business administration. But then I was working as a chef happily in Shangri-La Group of Hotels for about 8 years' time. And then I joined Disney Cruise and happily traveling around the world for free. I sleep in a country, wake up in a different country. But happily cracking thousands and thousands and thousands of eggs every single day in breakfast, and also using a lot of dairy products, and I cook tons of meat. I enjoy all sort of seafood, poultry, red meat, you name it, I try it because I'm a chef and I travel around the world. But one fine day, right before pandemic, I was on a medical leave. That's where I saw a video about egg industry. I was shocked as a chef, like, oh my God, this is how egg industry process egg. And I started to ask myself, as someone who grew up with all sort of discrimination and grow up believing in the principle of love and justice, how can I support such industry and be someone who is preparing that for my customers, for my guests in the hotel and the cruise? So first step, I completely stopped buying egg, I stopped eating egg, but I got no idea about veganism. I just saw a random videos on my Facebook, that's it. 2 weeks pass, another video pop up. I think vegan activists really done a great job. Dairy industry, again I question myself, why am I seeing all this kind of thing? And as a chef, it's naturally make me interested to know what is actually happening, where does the ingredients come from, and it's just that I'm on my medical leave, so I really have a lot of free time to spend myself in social media. So then I started to watch a lot of documentaries, trying to understand. So that's where I pop up a video from Arvind Animal Activist in YouTube with the title, Why Vegan in Ramaya Medical College. After 40 minutes, I'm convinced there is no way for me to say I don't want to go vegan. That's the journey begin. So now I'm a vegan, and I started to share about my stories, about whatever I'm eating at home on my personal Facebook channel, like personal Facebook page that everyone has. So then I received a message from a friend of mine after a week. Says, brother, are you like fully changed to vegan? What made you change? Teach me, I also want to be vegan. I was like, well, people are ready to be vegan out there? Like, I just got to know about this message at this age, and just 1 week of me sharing my personal things and someone want to be vegan. Doesn't it great? So I started to set up my social media platforms because I was too free. It was pandemic, so I don't know what to do. So I started with Facebook and Instagram, and later day I continue with my YouTube and TikTok. So for anyone who want to start your social media advocacy, first thing first, you need to set what are your niche or your focus that you want to create your content. So I know that my content going to be vegan, but there's a lot of content we can make around vegan topic. So I have set my niche very clearly. It's going to be vegan food, vegan lifestyle, and vegan travel. So it's always my content gonna be on this direction. So fast forward, we have grown to about 3 million followers. I'll share with you how. So what we get out of these 3 million followers and 250 million reach. We got opportunity to work with a lot of interesting brands in Malaysia. It opened doors that we can actually influence a lot of their decision in the brand to offer some vegan products, how they can help the vegan community, how the community can support the brand, and etc. Basically, we are on all the offline medias in Malaysia. You name it, our news is on there. All the online medias featured our news in the past. We were on all the radio channels that in Malaysia. We were in all the TV channels, as well as we have done more than I think closely about 70 different TV shows, and we received numbers of award and recognition for our work for the past 4 years. One of the prestigious award that we got is from World Chef Association for the work that we have been doing, educating Malaysian public about plant-based cooking, as well as we received Asia Award from Asia Award for being the best vegan chef in Asia. So these are all our achievements, how we actually made it. It's very simple. Don't be surprised. So we analyze our data, see how our content works. So for anyone using social media for your advocacy, making content, setting up your niche, making content is the first, second step. The third step is after some time, you need to monitor and evaluate your content. So when we categorize all our content into category and then we analyze, we see what kind of content we receive the most engagement, the most like, share, and comments. We realize our cooking video received the most for the year 2020. The same thing happened in 2021. The same thing happened in 2022. So we have decided, don't waste time. Let's focus 1 full year for doing 365 videos in 365 days. So every single day we have posted Malaysian vegan recipes. Boom, we became million view content creator. All our videos achieve million views. Every month we achieve million views, at least 4 to 5 videos. These are the solid proof. We don't pay any ads. It's all organic. It's all just some strategy to analyze the work that you have been doing. Next thing, we have do a trial period for 4 months to try if this Project 365 works. And we have convinced the funder to fund us. And you can see how our growth, suddenly a big, fast growth on the new trial that we want to try out with our Project 365, and the growth has been keep going up. So that's how from 1 million follower, we turned to 3 million follower in just 365 days. So 2 of our successful project is Ramadan series. During the month of Ramadan, we encourage the Muslim going plant-based. And you won't trust us, each of the video we receive average 1 million views. In 30 days, we got 32 million views. And Malaysia's population is just 33 million views. 33 million people, sorry. And during the month of Deepavali, we posted 15 episodes and we received 14 million views. And for your information, Malaysia only has nearly about 3 to 4 million Indians. So what is the next level impact? Does our work really make any change in Malaysia? Despite all the news, blah, awards, does it really? What else we achieve? Does it really help animal? Yeah, we sometimes receive messages from people say that, hey, I want to be vegan. Oh, thank you for your videos. We now eating more vegan food. So at least we make 1 or 2 people become vegan. That's what a lot of animal rights activists believe out there. But the true scenario is every single day we are receiving tons of messages of people telling us how our videos, just simple cooking videos and lifestyle sharing and vegan travel have changed their life towards the vegan lifestyle. A lot of people have condemned me that I don't talk about animal rights, but without understanding the context, in a Muslim majority country, talking about animal rights is very sensitive. So I always use food and culture as a tool or health perspective to speak on this particular topic, and this is a success that we have achieved. Not only that, social media drive the powerful energy to reach out to all the medias, brands, and also the most important part, systemic change. My story is a great testimony for all the vegan advocacy around the world. I got opportunity to sit down with government bodies, with ambassadors around the world to speak about the potential to promote Malaysia as a vegan destination country, as well as I'm speaking directly with Ministry of Health, with a lot of projects upcoming, Ministry of Trade and Agriculture. So this is the opportunity that we get when we use social media really strategically and plan our content, as well as monitor and evaluate each part of the work that we have been doing. And right over that corner is the Malaysian Queen. So I got opportunity to even cook with her, and she came for my book launch. So that's how amazing a vegan population who is less than 1% in Malaysia can make this impact. So does it really make a change? You have seen the impact yourself. I doesn't have to say much. So my message is being vegan is not enough. Being an advocate is not enough. Be a resilient and strategic vegan advocate. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we're going to launch into our last presentation, which is me. But before that, I have two quick announcements. One is that this session will go until 9:55 instead of the original 9:45. And second, the next session is going to start at 10. But I've been informed that you can take tea and coffee and snacks and bring them into your next sessions. So if you are interested in attending the next session, you can do so with food, which sounds very helpful. All right, so apologies about this. It seems that there is a technical issue with the PowerPoint. I think we'll try to fix it for about like a minute. If not, I'll do it without the PowerPoints. But in the meantime, since we're all just sitting here, if you could turn to someone that you don't know yet and introduce yourself so we can kind of like get to connect a little bit, that would be awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to talk about social media, big surprise. What I hope to do today is to give you a little bit of an overview about social media that hopefully will be useful to most people who are using social media in any sort of capacity. So our agenda today is quite simple. We're going to try to do three things. One is answer the question, what is the algorithm? Two is, what is good content? And three, I'm going to give you a simple exercise to be able to implement the things that we're going to talk about. Okay, so first, what is the algorithm? This is a term that we hear a lot when we talk about social media. The algorithm this, the algorithm that, oh, it's getting picked up by the algorithm. But what is the algorithm? It's easy to think about it as this sort of big black box, this thing that it does something, but you're not sure what it does. But in fact, there's a very easy way to understand what the algorithm is. And that's to think about the algorithm like a curator. So what a curator does is they take a pile of art, they look at all this stuff that's out there, and they decide what to put in front of you in an exhibit. And so what the algorithm does is it basically looks at all the content, all the stuff that's being uploaded onto a platform, and is deciding what to put in front of you. That's what the algorithm does. Now, these two things also have differences. So when you're curating for an art exhibit, that can actually be very complicated and very different. Sometimes you're trying to tell the story of this certain period in history. Sometimes you're trying to showcase the art of a specific artist. Other times you're doing other things. So the process for curating is actually complicated and changes a lot. In contrast, the process that the algorithm, the curator that curates our social media feeds, uses is actually very simple. And what it does, the way you can think about it, is that you can think about it as an attention machine. Or another way to think about it is your needy ex who won't stop texting you, who just wants attention all the time. Now, to understand why that is, we have to understand what those platforms are. And so if you look at the About page of all these social media platforms, they will say things like Meta builds technologies that help people connect, or that Instagram is about bringing you closer to the people and things you love, or TikTok is to inspire creativity and bring joy. And all these things may be true, but these platforms are also something else. And what they are is they're businesses. Like, they have to make money somehow. And the core feature of businesses is that they sell stuff. And so the question is, what do those platforms sell? Now, we can think about this very simple thing that happens where when we use our social media platforms, most of us use them for free. Now, we typically think of ourselves as the customers. We're the users. But if we use those platforms for free, then are we really the customers? In fact, what these platforms sell is our attention. We're not the customers, we're actually the products. And so what these platforms do is they try to get as much of our attention as possible, and then they sell that attention to other businesses who want to make money by selling ads, for example. So they'll take our attention and then sell it to other companies who want to push ads to us, basically. And so in the same way that Apple asks themselves, how can we sell more iPhones than last time? And Kumon Learning Center asks, how can we torture more kids than last time? And McDonald's asks, how can we kill more cows than last time? These platforms ask themselves, how can we get more attention than last time? In other words, the algorithm is a curator whose job it is to get and keep as much of our attention as possible. That's the simple way to think about it. Okay, so now what is good content? Now, if we have defined the algorithm as this attention machine, as this curator who curates what shows up in front of you, then good content is simply content that gets attention. And the best way to understand this is to understand this word, value. What gets attention is things that bring value. Now, what does this mean? As animal advocates, we often ask people to consider things from the animal's perspective. So we say, instead of thinking about what we do to animals from our perspective and asking ourselves how we feel about it or what we think about it, we ask, why don't we consider this from the animal's perspective? What is it like to be farmed and killed from their perspective? Similarly, as content creators, what we have to ask is, what is it like from the audience's perspective? We have to consider their perspective. And what this means specifically is that usually a lot of times we ask ourselves questions like this. So we ask, how can we get more views? How can we get more followers? How do we get more people to click our link? How do we get this thing that we want? This is thinking about it from our perspective. Instead, we want to ask, how can we provide more value to the audience? Instead of asking, how can we improve our content from our perspective, we want to ask, how can we improve our content from their perspective? So just a quick anecdote on this whole thing. Oftentimes when we create content, we have all these things that we want to change about it. But we're always thinking about it from our perspective. So for example, this morning, I was preparing this presentation, and I came all the way here. And I had this idea in my head where I wanted to wear these particular shoes for this presentation. The problem with these shoes is that they're like new, and so they hurt my feet when I wear them. And so I had this idea where I was like, I'll wear my other shoes and get here and then change, and after the presentation, I'll change to my other shoes so that I can wear those during the presentation without hurting my feet. And what happened is that I came down here and I realized I forgot those shoes. And I thought to myself, well, I forgot the shoes. I should go get them. And as you can see, I want to get them. But the truth is, this actually doesn't matter at all. This is me thinking about this presentation from my perspective. I want to do this presentation with these shoes. I don't want to wear these other shoes for whatever reason. But the truth is, this actually makes no difference for you whatsoever. And so I also do this in my content when I'll film a video or I'll do something and I'll be looking at things like, what does my hair look like? Is my shirt okay? I think the way I said that is weird. But the truth is, our audiences don't care about any of that. They only care about the value that they get from what we are providing them. So that's why it's so important to focus on that. And now third, I want to give you a simple exercise that I think will really help you develop the skill of how to be able to actually implement this. How do we actually figure out what is value for our audience? How do we actually figure this out? Well, this exercise actually comes from two things that I do that are on completely opposite spectrums in terms of the types of activities that you can do. One is meditation. So I've loved meditation for many, many years. And in a lot of ways, it's changed my life. The other thing is spending time on social media. Specifically those times when I just take out my phone and I'm just kind of scrolling on some platform. And I think the kids call it doom scrolling these days, where you're just kind of like scrolling and you can't stop watching. And this exercise is basically taking those two things and combining them together. Remember earlier we had compassion and action, and that became compaction? Well, when you combine meditation and doom scrolling, you get meditative doom scrolling. And so what this is an exercise that you can do when you are the one consuming content. So when you are consuming content, something amazing happens, which is your perspective is the audience's perspective. And so what you can do is become aware of your experience. So in meditation, there's this idea, or at least some forms of meditation, there's this idea of mindfulness, of practicing mindfulness. And mindfulness is a practice of awareness. It means you sit there and you notice things. You notice, oh, I'm feeling this way. Oh, this thought is going through my mind. Oh, I want to scratch my back. And you just notice these things. You don't do anything about it, but you notice them. All these things are things that you may not notice if you're not actively trying to notice them. We go through our days and we feel a whole bunch of things. We think a whole bunch of things. But a lot of it just happens. We're not really thinking about it. But as soon as we sit down and ask ourselves, what is going on right now? We can start to be aware. And this is one way of building self-awareness. Now, we can do the same thing when we are consuming content. What we can do is we can watch something. So say you're watching videos, a video pops up, and you actually watch the whole thing. You can ask yourself, what happened there? And just notice what happens. And then you'll start to notice things like, oh, this video started in this particular way. And so like that actually prompted me to watch the rest of the video. In contrast, you can imagine another video that pops up on your feed, and then you skip it. Instead of just skipping it, you can ask yourself, oh, hold on a second. Like, why did I skip that? And then you'll start getting answers, such as, oh, I started watching it, and I had no idea what the video was about in 3 seconds, and so I just moved on to the next thing. Now, there are two things that you can notice about the things that you watch or read or listen to. One is about the actual content. Like, what is it doing? For example, is it letting me know what this thing is about when I first start consuming it? I watched this video for 3 seconds. Do I know what I'm going to get out of it? And you might notice that when you know what the video is about, you watch it till the end. In contrast, when you start watching something and you're like, I don't understand what this is about, you just move on to the next thing. So these are technical things. Or you might notice when the audio of a video is good and you can hear it clearly, you'll watch it till the end. When in contrast, if a video starts and you can't really hear what the person is saying, the audio is not good, you just skip it. So you can notice all these things. The other thing, though, that in a way might be much more valuable is to notice how you feel. So when you watch something and you keep watching it, you get a certain feeling that it's exciting, or you want to watch this, or you read an article and you actually read it till the end. And you're like, wow, this was actually really interesting. Now, you want to notice how that feels emotionally. What does it feel like to be captured by a piece of content or an article or anything else? And then the trick is to try to apply that, but to your own stuff. So when we read other people's articles, when we watch other people's videos, it's very easy to evaluate them. We do it without even thinking. So if it's good, we keep watching, we keep reading. If it's not, we don't. And we just kind of get this intuitive feeling that, if it's not even intuitive, it's just like our actions show how we feel about it. The trick is to be able to evaluate our own stuff like that, to be able to look at what you produce and pretend that you are not yourself. And ask yourself, if I wasn't me, if I didn't know that this was made by me and I didn't make it myself, like how would I feel about it? Would I actually keep reading this? Like would I actually watch this video? And if you're able to evaluate your own stuff from the audience's perspective, then that will take you a long way into understanding how to create value for your audience. So doom scrolling is something that we do a lot. We should probably stop. But while you're doing it, you might as well do it in a meditative way. And that's about for me. Thank you very much. So we will bring the chairs up so we can have all the speakers in a row and do a quick Q&A. So we don't have that much time for the Q&A, so what we'll do is we'll get to some questions. If you have more questions for any of our speakers, you can find them after the session out in the hallway or something else, and then ask there, and I'm sure that we'll be happy to help you with whatever we can help you with. So. Okay, I'm going to be pulling questions from the Whova app, so feel free to either upvote questions that you like or ask questions there as well. And we have a few questions, so we'll go through these, but as they keep coming in and keep getting upvoted, I'll try to curate the ones that are most interesting that could be good for our entire panel here. Okay, so first question. How does one preserve their mental health while advocating online?
For me, I think I will get personal attack because it's personal branding. So easily they can be targeted and all that. I think, first of all, the lesson that I have learned is don't take things personally and seriously, because number one, you don't know who are that particular person, and that opinion is belong to one particular person, so you doesn't have to really care about it much. But if it's a criticism that gonna help you to improve your content, your advocacy, please take it. If something that really put you down, you have to learn to detox and talk to someone if you really need. So yeah, at the beginning stage of my advocacy, I really face a lot from a lot of different spectrum. But as time goes by, we grow mature. It's just like, you know, you are like a baby and then growing. So you will understand how to deal with your audience, yeah.
I'd like to add that it's important to take breaks. It's necessary to give yourself a break, because when you're dealing so much with social media, you're also dealing with other people's emotions. It tends to affect you. So it's important to cut off and find some peace in whatever it is that you like to do.
Yeah, for me, for IFJ, yeah, we celebrate small things, small wins to keep motivation. Yeah, like my presentation before, even our viewers only 242, but it's purely organic. So I think celebrate small wins is important to express your mental health.
So I think that's the way that we preserve our mental health while doing things on social media is the same question as how do we have good mental health generally? And so I think that if we want to be able to navigate creating on social media or being on social media while preserving our mental health, then we have to figure out how do we have good mental health in general. The reason why that social media might affect our mental health in a negative way is because we have this, or one of the reasons at least, I think, is because we are basing something about us on this external thing. So we're saying, like, how my posts do actually say something about who I am as a person or my self-worth, or what these people say actually reflects on who I am as a person. And if you zoom out, that's actually saying that, like, who I am, like how I feel by myself is dictated by this outside world. And at least it's my personal belief that it's actually more helpful to base how you feel about yourself, your self of identity, on something that's internal. It has nothing to do with this outside world. And so in general, it's much easier to kind of not deal about this because like the outside world is not necessarily that loud, but social media is very loud. And so it tests you a lot. But I think in general, it's about mental health in general. And the second really, really quick thing I want to say is that oftentimes we might see things like comments that say certain things, and we think, wow, everyone thinks this. But actually, the people who are very negative, and you can all confirm this, like they're oftentimes the loudest people. And they don't necessarily represent all the people who are watching your stuff. So the way I think about it is that, again, look at it from the audience's perspective. How many times have you consumed an incredible article or an incredible video that's changed your life, literally changed your life? How many times have you commented or let that creator know how incredible that was for you? For many of us, we never do that. We never actually say, wow, it could change your life, and you won't say anything. And so there are many people who might watch the things that you make or read the things that you make, and it's very impactful for them. But just like you, don't tell creators or authors or whatever that their work has been valuable to you, they also don't tell you. And so I think it's important to remember that there are all these people who are still getting value from what you're creating, but they're just silent about it. Okay, so next question. How to adjust your strategy if your campaign is not delivering the expected conversion rates, and how to change your messaging.
Personally, for me, I guess normally we will do our monitoring and evaluation every 6 months once. So when we realize there's less engagement, and also we look into all different type of feedback that we got from our audience, and from there we will also look into what is current trend in the country, what other content creators are doing, what kind of content works the best. So we will find similar channel that produce similar content to work on the idea and pipeline so that the upcoming content will be able to fill up the gap that we have missed in the past.
Yeah, I think it depends from campaign to campaign, but also, like Dave said, looking at what is working and then trying some of those things may help. And also probably putting out polls on a regular basis and asking your audiences and seeing how they respond to some of the questions you're asking might also give you a better idea of what may work and what might not work.
Yeah, same as like, yeah. I think follow the trends, it's important. Like in IFJ, we don't have TikToks. And I think next we will move the TikToks, like we follow the trends for the campaigns.
One thing I think is very important is to understand who you're going after, so to clearly define who your target audience is. So back in the day, we had these global celebrities. We had this one celebrity that everyone knew. The world is no longer like that. And so you have someone like ChefDave, for example. They have 3 million followers, but there's still a lot of people who just don't know who you are. And you can actually see this with the biggest creators in the world. So for example, the biggest YouTube channel is run by Mr. Beast. Now, a lot of people, like, I'm just curious, like Mr. Beast is literally the largest YouTuber. Has anyone here, like, does anyone here have no idea who I'm talking about? Just raise your hands. Exactly. So this is the largest creator on YouTube by miles and miles and miles. And there are still people who have no idea who he is. This is just how things are today. So the other day, I was having a conversation about someone who said, what if we could have one campaign that reaches 1 billion people? But actually, I thought about it, and I was like, I don't think that makes sense. I think it makes sense to have more smaller campaigns that reach less people each, and in total we reach 1 billion people, because the world is so segmented now. So when you have a campaign or a post or a page or anything, I think it's very important to be narrow with who you're targeting, to be like, this is who we're going after, and you can define them in a multitude of ways. And then you ask, how can we serve them? How do we create as much value as possible for them? Because what's value for them might not be value for someone else. I forgot that I have to ask the questions after I answer them. Okay, so is it advisable to hire an organization for social media or work on it yourself?
Depends on how much money you have. If you're an individual content creator, I think it's important to try things yourself first before you hire anybody, because you need to know what you need to be able to explain to them well. So yeah, I think that, of course, it depends on the budget you have, but I would say try it out yourself first, and figure out if it's something that you're good at, and then look at hiring somebody.
Personally, I strongly agree, as well as I will encourage to start yourself, because then you will know the foundation of how social media works, how how to create content, how to engage with your audience, how to respond, and how to analyze things, and how algorithm works. If you directly hire someone, that's great. But what will happen is sometimes you don't know how to direct them. You don't know how to send the right message, what exactly you are looking for the impact, and what's the objective you're trying to reach through social media advocacy. So for my personal experiences, for the first 1 year, I do everything myself. One-man show, I shoot my content, edit, I do the posting, I do the copywriting, I analyze how's the reach of my videos and everything. And it's all self-learning because my profession is a chef. I have not a social media expertise. So, but after 1 year, then I hire a social media manager, I hire a team to help me to shoot the video, edit my videos. So now I have a team of 6. So I'm able to produce more content than ever before. So now I'm traveling different part of the world, but the content still continue ongoing on my channel. So that's how, personally, I believe you should grow your channel, so you exactly know how to lead your team. Yeah.
Yes, for me, we have a social media manager, and but we are not expert in social media, but we learn from the other organizations' media, and we consistent to report and report our activities through the social media. Yeah, so we learn together with other organizations.
And don't be afraid. Like, one quick thing is don't be afraid to fail. So when we start learning how to ride a bicycle, we're going to fall many times. When you first learn to play an instrument, you're going to make many mistakes. When you first learn how to learn a language, you can't say anything. And it's the same thing with social media. It's a skill that you develop. So don't be afraid to fail, and it's through those failures that you will learn. Okay, so for the next session, again, you can take snacks and tea and coffee and bring them into your sessions if you'd be interested. But thank you so much for coming, and please give it up for our wonderful speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.